Although coping with depression and becoming a happier person can involve making a lot of different lifestyle changes and changing your mindset and doing a lot of different things, but in my experience, tapping into my creativity and diving into a more creative life has brought me more happiness and joy than I think anything else has. And I think the basis of this channel is really giving my insights on how to be a happier person, because that's all we really want, right? We just want to be happy and we deserve to be happy. So I feel like it's so important for me to share the things that have genuinely made me a happier person, because I now have hobbies and passions that genuinely bring me joy. Even in the darkest of times, they may not bring me as much joy in the darker times than they do when I'm in a good mood, but knowing that those things that make me happy are always there, whether I'm experiencing a depression episode or not, is what's really helped me have a different relationship with depression and not feel so controlled and dictated by it. And I personally feel like there's almost nothing more important than creating things. We really, really need to tap into that creative energy of ours in order to be truly happy. Because as human beings, we are meant to create. Like actually, we are meant to create. Because everything in this world, other than nature of course, everything in this world was created by someone. None of these things in our everyday lives would exist if a human being didn't create them. We're supposed to be out in the world, using our hands and using our imagination instead of just staring at a screen all day and numbing our minds. Our ancestors had to create everything in their lives. Their food, their entertainment, their clothing. And while there are amazing uses for technology, of course, it's also the reason why so many of us are depressed and can't seem to get out of it, because we are consuming more than we're creating. And that's not at all what we are supposed to be doing as human beings. Choosing to live a more creative life does not have to be this clear purpose, because creating anything is healing. No matter how small or insignificant it is or how unsure we are about it, it has nothing to do with the result of it or how good it is. The point of creating is that it's healing. You could have some friends over and decide to drink wine and paint, and it literally does not matter what your painting turns out like. It's just the act of doing it that makes you feel good inside. Or you could even decide to create a recipe. This is not about having a clear passion project or a burning desire. This is just about connecting to who we really are at our core, human beings who are meant to create. So this is just about living a more creative life. So now that I've made that clear, getting into how being creative really helps heal our depression. I think the number one reason is honestly because creating takes you out of your analytical mind and into a flow state. It's usually our thoughts that are keeping us in a depressed state of mind. Our worries, our fears, our insecurities. So when you get into the flow of creation, whether you're using your hands to create or you're getting lost in your imagination, it really calms your mind and clears all of those thoughts. And your mind is focused on the details of what you're doing, and you just get lost in your creation. And studies show that getting into a creative flow state actually reduces anxiety, it slows your heart rate, and it boosts your mood. And I also read that creating can improve your immune system, it can reduce dementia, and improves cognitive functioning, which makes you smarter. Another way that creativity genuinely heals depression is that creating is an outlet for us to release our emotions. That's why there are so many songs about heartbreak, because heartbreak is one of the hardest things that we all have to go through. And sometimes the only way to really find any sense of comfort is to release those emotions in some way. I know for me, this YouTube channel has been so incredibly healing for my own journey. As you may have observed, I talk a lot about mental health and self-growth. And the reason why I'm always called to talk about those things is because it's usually what I'm currently going through or something that I have gone through before. It's a unique way of releasing my thoughts and my feelings and my insights throughout this journey of me trying to become a happier person. Writing song lyrics has also been an outlet for me when I have been dealing with things that are just really hard to feel through. When I feel like I just want so badly to express my emotions in some way, but not necessarily wanting to vent to another person writing lyrics is something that's really been an outlet for me. It is also scientifically proven to help those with trauma express their feelings and release them in a productive way. And whether or not you have discovered your own little creative projects that feel good to you and that make you feel better, I know that you also have your own unique way of expressing your feelings and also expressing your authentic self. Whenever I go a long time without creating, I literally spiral. Also, why creativity is so healing is because authentic self-expression is necessary for our fulfillment. And this doesn't just apply to people who do seem to have a more bold personality or a more bold style, or who are super into art and whatever. This doesn't just apply to those people. Everyone in this world has a unique soul, has a unique personality, and has things that matter to them. And when we don't express those things, when we don't show up in the world as who we truly are, when we suppress certain parts of ourselves, we can never truly be fulfilled. And so finding a way to fully expressing those parts of ourselves is so healing. And of course, creating also connects you to your inner child, to your inner playful side. And that alone is so incredibly healing, because the reason why our creativity can feel so blocked is because we're overworked. We're constantly stressed. A lot of people feel like they don't even have time to have a painting night with their friends. But even as adults, we all deserve to laugh and to play and to not constantly be stressed about life responsibilities. I think a lot of people feel very disconnected from their inner child. And engaging in creative hobbies is a very powerful way to connect back to that aspect of yourself again. Creating is so truly healing because it connects you to your soul. It connects you to your authentic self, to who you really are at your core. Tapping into your imagination, into your inner world, connecting with your heart and with the messages and the insights that your heart shows you. Our soul is constantly providing us with insights, with lessons that we've learned, and with wisdom. And lastly, why creativity heals depression is because it's a way of connecting us to others. When we create something that we put our time and energy into and someone else resonates with it or acknowledges it, it makes us feel seen, it makes us feel heard, it makes us feel connected to another person. And often our creations are actually healing for other people as well. Think about all of the things that help you when you're feeling depressed. Probably a lot of those things are other people's creations. And also, all of the times that I've created with another person, whether I had a paint and wine night with a friend, or the times that I've filmed a video with another friend, all of the times that I have created with another person have been some of my favorite days ever. It is so joyful and so healing in so many ways. And I feel like it even creates a deeper relationship with those that you love. So we've talked about all the ways in which creativity heals depression, but I know a lot of you may be left wondering, where do I start? How do I start creating? I'm not a creative person. That's just a belief that a lot of us have, that some people are creative and some people are not. But because human beings are just meant to create, we are all creative in some way. Creating is for everyone. It's not a quality that only certain people possess. And it took me a long time to realize that. I grew up thinking that I was not a creative person at all. And because I believed that about myself, I never tried to create anything. So how could I ever be a creative person if I never even tried to create anything? If I limited myself that much and literally placed myself in the I'm not a creative person box. But like I said earlier in this video, creating is not about having this goal or this expectation or needing to have a talent at it. It's about enjoying the moment. No matter what you are creating, no matter how small and insignificant, you're probably going to immediately notice a positive difference in the way that you feel. And that feeling is going to guide you to creating more things. I guarantee that. So start with something that interests you. Maybe you're really into jewelry. Maybe start learning how to wire wrap crystals. Maybe you're super into food, so you want to create a recipe. Maybe you're into reading or writing, so you want to just start writing down your thoughts. A really good place to start is just inviting some friends over or some family, whoever you have in your circle, and just having a creativity night. Another really fun way to create with your friends is creating vision boards or some type of goal-oriented visual. Regardless of what you do, if you're someone who also experiences depression, anxiety, stress, I invite you to start living a more creative life. I can almost guarantee you that it's going to make you a happier person. It's obviously not going to solve the issues in your life or solve the root of your depression, but it's going to really help you. I remember part of what made my depression even worse was that I was so insecure about myself because I felt like I didn't have any talents. So I never tried to do anything out of fear of failure, out of insecurity. But that is exactly what held me back, what kept me in this box of I'm not a creative person, I'm not talented, I suck, I hate myself. So that obviously just made me feel worse and worse because I had no creative outlets. But that's exactly what depression can do to you sometimes. It completely fogs your brain and makes you limit yourself, makes you not believe in yourself, makes you too scared to try anything. And the way out of that is starting to try things, is starting to express yourself, no matter how scary it is, or no matter how insecure that you feel. Because once you start getting yourself out there and spending time in your imagination, putting the phone away and not consuming so much, creating more than you consume, it allows you to start actually recognizing your talents. You start actually realizing, hey, I'm kind of not the worst at this. And then over time, as you get better, you actually start to gain confidence in yourself and realize how much you were limiting yourself. And step by step, you start to clear that mental fog. You start to see things more clearly. You start to recognize and experience the simple joys of life and become more confident in who you truly are because you know yourself more. And I know this isn't the case for everyone, but I think a lot of people who have crippling depression don't really have any hobbies or passions because of the limiting way that their depression has made them view themselves in the world. But it's those passions and those hobbies that can be your medicine. If you're highly intrigued by this topic and you want to learn more about creativity, I highly recommend the book Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. Reading that book is what made me way more passionate about creative living than I ever was before. But that's all I have to share with you today. So thank you so much for joining me. I really hope that this video helped you in any way. If it did, make sure to give it a like. That really helps support me in the YouTube algorithm. But more importantly, if this video helped you and if you'd like to see more of my content, then subscribe to this channel. I would love to have you a part of my safe space community. But other than that, I really hope that I see you in the next video.